Okay.
All right.
So, like, first of all, I know you don't drink, but I have this amazing story to tell you.
I have drank before, so...
Yeah, I know, but you don't drink now.
Yeah, it's okay. You can tell me the story.
Yeah. Okay, so yesterday I was scrolling through Facebook, and I got this ad for, like, a gin cocktail, and Carter and I really like gin. And we have alcohol at home, but it's, like, all straight alcohol, and we're more cocktail people. So I was like, they have home delivery. Why don't you order some? So he ordered it. He ordered 24 gin cocktails. It came in literally half an hour.
What?
Yeah, like the guy called Carter like maybe 20 minutes later and was like, "Hey, I'm 5 minutes away. Like, do you want your order now?"
And this was yesterday.
That's amazing.
So we got 24 gin cocktails, and then he also gave us 2 full-size cans of beer, like tall boy beers, and
like Natty Daddy size.
I don't know what that is.
Natural white. I don't know if you have that.
We probably don't.
It's a very tall can.
Yeah, it's a very tall cans that we got.
Damn, dude.
And then they also gave us, like, a bottle of hand sanitizer as well.
For a second, I heard that as ham sanitizer.
Yeah, you gotta sanitize those hams.
Yeah, like, you don't know where they've been.
Yeah.
But we got, like, so much booze in half an hour, and it cost us $60.
Damn, dude, because I see some people spending $60 for, like, a bottle of wine at a restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, we
like
got
one.
Like,
we got a deal.
Our mini fridge is full of alcohol right now, and a bottle of kombucha.
I'll take the kombucha.
Okay, I actually make my own kombucha, so like when I come down, I can bring kombucha and beef jerky.
Is it good?
It's very good.
Okay, I believe you. You strike me as the type of person who would be really good at growing kombucha.
Growing kombucha.
Oh, have I told you what my SCOBY's name is?
Your what now?
My SCOBY, my kombucha mushroom.
Oh, no.
Her name is SCOBY Bryant.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, SCOBY Bryant.
I don't know if I told you this, but I went to Kobe Bryant. Well, no, I didn't actually. I went to Kobe Bryant's middle school, and then my parents decided that I needed emotional support, so I went to a different high school. But I went to his school district.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool. Like, a lot of my friends went to that school. It's Lower Merion, by the way, is the school. Like, I'm doxing myself. Who cares? It's public knowledge that, like, Kobe Bryant went to this certain high school. Whoops. Anyway, like, I think somebody stole all his, like, jersey, like, his high school jersey that they had hanging up. They had, like, a whole box that was, like, Kobe Bryant went here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then some guy stole it. And then when Kobe Bryant died, he, like, brought all the shit back to the school. And was like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, here's all the shit back."
Wow.
God.
Can you fucking believe that shit?
That's crazy. The high school that I went to, we had a ska band that got some moderate success. And we had a hockey player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And my school's like whole thing was like, "Oh, look at that, we produce hockey players and we produce ska bands." But then like I had seen the ska band live a few times and I met them, and if you mention like the school to them, they're like, fuck them, we dropped out.
That's amazing.
And it's the same thing with the hockey player. Like, they made it such a big deal when I went in, because I think it was like the year he got signed or whatever. And like, if you ask the player about the school, he was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I dropped out." The school was so bad. Like, they wanted to be like this amazing art school, but it was like literally, if you couldn't get into the actual art school in our area, you went to this school, which was the reject art school.
Wait, like, there's an art school and a reject art school?
Yeah, like, both schools require auditions, but, like, my high school took anyone, and I only went there because, like, my grandparents were like, "You have to go to a Catholic school," because, like, I was raised by a single mother. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. So, like, a lot of the time she was busy working, and my grandparents made a lot of big decisions instead of her.
Oh, so, yeah. Yeah, you did. I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to reject art school instead of Catholic art school. My program only lasted one fucking semester too.
What?
I was in musical theater. I auditioned for and got into musical theater because I have a background in martial arts, so it translates well into dance. And I also have a background in vocals because growing up I did church choir. And then I also have a background in acting, which is a whole other story that I'm not getting into right now.
You also have a background in being a mafia don, and you have a background in, like...
Okay, I think we need to cut the feed. We need to cut the feed here.
But yeah, anyways, it was musical theater. And within the 4 grades, there were only 8 of us in the program.
There were 8?
There were 8 of us. Like, we couldn't even put on a fucking show. So they had to cut the program.
And they were like, put on a show with 8 people. Unless you're saying there's 8 people total and no stagehands or anything.
Yeah, 8 people total and no stagehands.
Bruh.
That was the entire thing.
Has your school ever heard of one-man shows? Because those are things that exist.
Andy Kaufman.
We could have, like, probably recreated Monty Python, considering it's the same 5 actors.
That's true.
That's true, yeah. Oh, I sent you the Bring Out Your Dead one, right?
I think you did.
The new Artishma, where it starts out and he's like, "Bring out your dead!"
Yeah, you sent me that one.
Yeah, isn't that... Did you hear the part in the middle where I, like, took out the bell from the Monty Python movie and, like, put it in the actual song?
Yes!
After the intro?
Yes. Okay, Carter hasn't heard that yet. He heard the Kaiatis thing that you just posted today.
Yeah, we were literally just listening to it.
Yeah, like,
do you like it?
And then you came on. Yeah, I love it.
I was saying that it reminds me of a song you would hear in the Walking Dead show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because that's a very high-profile show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, we loved it. Like, we literally finished it, and then you hopped on Discord.
Wow, alright.
Yeah.
Speak of the devil, or watch him singing.
Is that the required ritual to bring you onto a Discord call? Do we have to listen to one of your songs in full?
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's okay. Also, speaking of Discord, do you want to fix Canada this week?
Do I want to visit Canada?
No, fix Canada. Neo Canada.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. How does Tuesday sound?
I think I'm working Tuesday. What about Wednesday?
Ooh.
Do you even want to talk about this? I don't think you want to talk about this.
I'll send you a Facebook message about it.
Because Wednesday's going to be a rough day.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Alright,
actually, Wednesday...
I'll figure it out. I think I have, like, a couple... Actually, no. Would you guys be able to do it, like, in the morning or something? Like, something like that?
What day specifically?
Alright, so I think I'm probably gonna have off Monday and Wednesday, and then maybe Saturday, but I didn't check my schedule this week, by accident. But...
yeah.
I'll update you guys with more information as I figure out, like, what my schedule is.
Now that I think about it, Wednesday might actually... Wednesday might actually be better, because, like, of what's gonna happen, I might need, like, some cheering up after.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We might be able to do this on Wednesday. Yeah.
We'll figure it out at a later date.
Yeah. There's part of me that's having trouble kind of like looking at the Discord because all I'm seeing is the fucking Disturbed picture that we put in there.
Oh, absolutely, me too.
I can't even look at him like in the eye.
Do you want me to change it to something I posted on the Facebook page that we now have?
You gotta change to the shadow picture.
Okay, I'll change to the shadow picture.
So we've been doing. We finished.
Hey man, nice cock.
I don't have the shadow picture. I forgot I deleted it. Here, I'll do the Freddie Mercury one.
Oh yeah.
Yo, I just realized I forgot my tea in my car, so I'm gonna be right back.
No worries.
Like 1 sec.
Yeah, we'll talk about stuff. We were for the past couple of days, like for the past 2-3 days, we've been recording some stuff in bulk. One of those being we got pretty much all of the footage done for Sonic Forces. My God. I was so excited to play that game at the beginning, and then by the end of the playthrough, I was like, okay, I'm fucking getting done with this.
I'm experiencing that with Heavy Rain right now, because I'm at the point where, like, if I fuck up just slightly, like, the whole Let's Play's over.
There was a moment in that Heavy Rain Let's Play where if you had gone too fast in this one area, like, we were dead.
Yeah, and you saw how my hands were on the controller.
Yeah,
like,
you were, like,
barely touching it.
Barely moving the control stick, and it was fucking ridiculous.
I was literally, like...
just, like, not even, like, a millimeter, like, forward on the control stick. It's, like... David Cage is ridiculous.
Fuck David Cage. I can't wait to play Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human. Okay,
fuck
here's the
David
thing.
Cage.
Okay.
I love...
So, with Beyond Two Souls, that was, when I was with my ex-boyfriend, and I broke up with him when I was about halfway through the game, so I've never actually beaten it.
Really?
Yeah, because I left the copy of the game.
Wait, Beyond Two Souls is that old?
Beyond Two Souls is so old.
Really?
Let me see when it came out.
I know it had Ellen Page, and it had Willem Dafoe. That's literally all I know about Beyond Two Souls.
It came out in 2013.
I'm trying to think of all the games that we have to... all the David Cage games that we have to play.
Which is every David Cage game.
So we're playing Heavy Rain. We have to play Omicron.
Oh my God.
We have to play Indigo Prophecy.
Returned.
Oh.
He has returned!
Yes. So we're talking about, like, David Cage games at the moment.
And what's an example of that?
So we were discussing...
Heavy Rain.
So we're playing Heavy Rain.
Oh, I know that, yeah.
Yeah. So we're discussing, like, what David Cage games are we going to be playing? So I'm making a list right now. So we're playing Heavy Rain.
Jason!
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're playing Heavy Rain. We have to play Omicron, which has David Bowie, which... that's a must.
I mean, I think that should be at the top of your list, TBH.
There's also Beyond Two Souls that has Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe.
There's Detroit Become Human.
Which I don't know the actors. Like, one of the actors is on Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. And there's Indigo Prophecy.
I have played Indigo Prophecy. It's been a long-ass time, though.
I don't know anything about Indigo
Prophecy. It's probably David Cage's only good game.
That's a hard sell. Knowing what he's done, that's a hard sell.
It's probably his only good game.
I don't believe you.
But yeah, I saw a lot about that. Wasn't there one with an android lady who was like, "Oh my God, no, I actually feel. Don't kill me."
I think that was that one. That's Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Detroit. Fine.
Wait, but I saw that like over a decade ago. I thought
it could have been Indigo Prophecy.
I forget. It's like a woman android, and they're putting her together, and they're like, "Oh, does she feel emotions?" And then she's like, "What's happening to me? I don't know what's going on." And then
they movie?
It's like a trailer for one of them. I could have I don't remember. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll figure it out later. Did you guys play the new Doom yet?
No, not yet. I haven't played Wood yet.
You haven't played the first one from 2016?
We can get that one.
Yeah, we
can. On PlayStation. I got a PlayStation Now subscription, so we have a whole giant library of games that we can record with, and the 2016 Doom is one of the ones that we can play. So we could probably play that. I know Doom 64 is on the PlayStation Store as well. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, Doom 64 I've never played. The first two original Dooms, amazing games, classics. Doom 3, it's all right. 2016 Doom, absolutely great. Absolutely recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think that they really did update the original. It really does have the original Doom spirit with a new coat of paint. It's running and shooting. They have jumping now, which is different, but
original Dooms didn't have that?
No, there was no jumping.
That's Surprising.
Yeah,
You know, like that should have been like a thing that was done a lot sooner.
So the story behind the original Doom is it is not a 3D game. It is a fake 3D game because they didn't really have 3D processing that good yet. You know, Doom was on the Super Nintendo. Like, this is old stuff. So basically, John Romero programmed a bunch of 2D stuff to look 3D. And so, you know how you go upstairs and downstairs? You're not actually changing your height. It's just pretending that you're going up and down with, like, clever visuals. You know what I mean?
Star Fox and Donkey Kong did those as well.
Yeah,
where they look 3D, but it tricked you.
Yeah, it's the same idea as that. It's like, it's FX chip style 3D, where it's not really 3D, but it's kind of like approaching it. And then jumping came out when Quake came out.
You know what I really want to do for the channel?
What?
I want to do a series where we play Doom on things that shouldn't run Doom, like a calculator.
Oh my god, yes!
I think that would be like the greatest thing, like just get random everyday items and make them run Doom and just play as much Doom as I can.
Doom on a smart fridge, like shit like that.
Oh my god.
Well, like we've seen like how many different things. There was like an exercise bike monitor.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a smart fridge. I think was one of them.
Yeah.
Like a car. A car's like
a car's display.
A display on a car. A calculator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, we should review them and rank all of them as the best to worst.
Yes. You know what's another thing I want to do? So I want to get back into Smash, but I want to play 64. And with 64, anything is a legal controller because, like, good 64 controllers are hard to come by. So there's, like, a whole bunch of adapters. And in the early 2000s, there was a GameCube game. There's a DDR Mario GameCube game that came with a playmat. And I want to use the DDR playmat and play as Captain Falcon in Smash 64.
Oh my god, Becky. Look at her butt. It's so big. Wow. That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I kind of want to play with the fishing rod too. Have you seen the fishing rod before?
Yes, I have.
I also want to show up to a 64 tournament with the GameCube controller and pretend I don't have an adapter. And then I just, like, as soon as, like, they call me up, I bring my GameCube controller, unroll it, like, go to plug it in, and I'm like, oh, wait. And then I just, like, you know, plug in the adapter and play with a GameCube controller.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I used to run 64 tournaments in Toronto, because the person who was running them was busy with work. So, yeah, and, like, everyone has a fucking adapter. Most people use GameCube controllers.
This is a strange fact, but I, think that Smash 64 might be the first game that I have a memory of.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing it at, like, my cousin's house in Maryland, and I think I was, like, 6 or something, or pretty young. I just remember Donkey Kong's, like, weird-ass looking, like, really, frankly, kinda bad-looking model. And so that's how I know it was 64, because also the controller was huge for my hands, so I couldn't, like, I didn't know what I was doing, obviously, because I was, like, 6. But I used to think that, like, Melee was my first 3D game, but I think it might actually be Smash 64.
I can tell you right now, my first 3D game was Twisted Metal. My first game I have memory of is Castlevania.
Castlevania, the first one?
The first one for NES, because growing up with a single mother, and my mom had me very young, and my mom was also a huge fucking gamer, so we always had the newest consoles right away. So, like, I was born in 93, so when I was born, my mom had an NES and a Super Nintendo. So, I was raised around the NES and the Super Nintendo.
Honestly, that's preferable, because my first console, well, I guess my first console was the Game Boy Advance SP, but then my first real, like, plug into the TV console was the GameCube. And I would have rather had it be where I start out with, like, you know, an NES or something, and then work my way up to like GameCube, because I feel like they kind of, GameCube isn't great looking now compared to like modern games, but compared to NES, it's like leagues ahead. I kind of wish they started me off slow, and then I'd like get to the top, and I'm like, wow, Ocarina of Time, whoa!
I grew up in such a weird situation with like having a parent who was a hardcore gamer, because like she would pre-order consoles and pre-order games. So like when I have like this very vivid memory of when the GameCube came out, and we had a whole bunch of different CRTs, but like the biggest CRT was in my mom's room. So we set the GameCube up in my mom's room, and we were playing the Zelda Mega Collection. And I was like, oh my god, it's such a rare game now. But I sat down and I'm like, oh my god, I just want to play this game. Like, I just want to play all these Zelda games. But then, like, my little brother was like, no, I don't want to play games. My mom's like, this is my console, guys. So my mom ended up having to buy 2 more GameCubes for us.
Oh my god.
None of us wanted to share the GameCube.
That's fucking amazing.
She still has all 3 GameCubes.
Oh my god.
I know, well, I was going to say, my foray was very much tied to my brothers, and I can...
Well, you're a younger child, so.
I've explained this to you before, Aidan, but, like, my family's first console was technically the Sega Genesis, but the only games I really remember playing on the Sega Genesis was, like, Sonic 2 and, like, this Tasmania game. Like, it was weird. Like, those are the only 2 games I like fully remember playing, besides like an NHL '96 game or something. And then we got Game Boy Colors. Both me and my brother got Game Boy Colors, and we each got a copy of Pokemon. And that was like, I think, probably my first ever memory of playing a game was playing Pokemon Blue on a Game Boy Color. I had Pokemon Blue, William had Pokemon Red. And
William's his brother. Yeah,
William's my brother. So he's like 2 years older than me. So, but that's like the first time I ever remember really like playing a game. And we got a 64 soon after that, an N64. And that was kind of like our shared console. And we'd always like fight over it, or we'd play mostly play multiplayer games in it. And then when we got older, when the GameCube came out, we got a GameCube, and we were sharing that. Up until the point where my brother, for his birthday, got a PS2. And the PS2 became his console, the GameCube became my console, and then we kind of just stuck on our paths of the companies that we were basically branded with. Like, I was known as the Nintendo kid, and he was more like the Sony and the Microsoft kid. So, like, that's kind of how my story... But
you ended up with Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, so who's the real winner here?
I own one of the most rare Fire Emblem games in existence.
What is it?
Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. So it's the Fire Emblem game for the GameCube that is the first time that Ike is introduced into the series.
Yeah.
It is $295.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
And you have Radiant Dawn, because it's so rare. They didn't print enough copies.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They didn't print a lot of Fire Emblem copies in North America, like, before Awakening, because, like, it wasn't really a big thing.
Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm part of the OG Fire Emblem.
Yeah, you're pre-Awakening. I'm post-Awakening.
Yeah, so
I fucking hate Awakening.
I guess I'm part of the OG as well.
Yeah, well, like, the OG, the pre-Awakening guys are the ones that saw Marth and Roy in Smash Bros. In Melee, and were like, oh, they look cool. What's this Fire Emblem thing about? And then that's when Fire Emblem 7, or Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, that had Eliwood, Lyn, and Hector, all, like, that game came out. And it's like...
Bro, you're totally telling the tale of my life right now. What the fuck?
Yeah. And then it continued on to Sacred Stones, which I still think is one of my favoriets.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, that one's so cool. Totally underrated.
So one of the one of the Let's Plays that we're doing right now is a randomizer of Fire Emblem Sacred Stones.
But it's a 2-way randomizer. So there's a one randomizer where it's just randomizing, like, the main villain at the end of the map and Carter's units. And then there's a hardcore randomizer where it randomizes literally everything.
Wait, so like literally everything, like textures and shit, or
not that much, but like everything to do with the characters. So it changes up their classes, it changes up their skills, it changes up their stats. Weapon damage and like whether weapon's good to hit or not.
You've had like 2 characters that have like a crit of 0 on their weapons crit, right?
Yeah, that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a character who has 4 HP. So
that's awesome.
And Seth is basically the monster of this run because he just plows through everything. Mm-hmm. And iron swords are the most OP weapons in the game because nothing else can hit.
Really? Like nothing else has like
Yeah, like you know how like the accuracy for weapons, like axes will have like 60 or 70-ish, and then like swords will have to like 80 or 90 or 100.
Oh yeah.
And then like pair that with like a character's skill, and then that'll give you whether or not you can actually hit your opponent or not and that shit. So all of the weapons except for like the iron sword has like an 82 for their hit, but every other weapon has between like 11 to 40 hits.
All right, but is there any weapon that's really good other than the hit? Like, did it suddenly get like 100 crit or something?
Not that much. Apparently, there is like some sort of range on it. Like, if a weapon has like a critical, then they will still have some sort of critical range. Like, killing edges, which are like your most like dime a dozen weapon if you want to get a weapon that can do a crit. It has like a 30% crit rate. It'll change to like down to as low as like 15% or up to as high as 45%. There is a range there, but it's crazy how messed up some of these these randomized stats have gone. And I was like, I know in like the long term, this is probably not going to be a smart playthrough to do on its own. So that's why I have the vanilla version, which just changes my characters and the main boss. So
yeah, that's way more manageable, I would say.
Yeah,
that's like the episode I watched where Seth was a monster, and then the dude was like, "You look like you came back from the dead."
Yeah, that's the vanilla run, right?
Sometimes, like moments like that just line up so perfectly, and I was just like, I wasn't expecting that to happen because one of the things that the randomizer does is that it changes the character's classes and like what their character is in every cutscene. So in like there's like 3 cutscenes in the opening of the game before the prologue starts, and in every single cutscene the character changes class. So I don't know what the character is going to be like definitively until he gets to the map. So that's how stupid and crazy this randomizer is. And that affects both the vanilla and the crazy. So
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
I would say that I was more of a Game Boy Fire Emblem guy, and then after that, basically nothing. Other than I started like emulating GameCube games, so I did play Path of Radiance. I didn't play Radiant Dawn.
Radiant Dawn is so fucking hard. It's so hard. Like, you need to... Radiant Dawn is like one of like the master level Fire Emblem games. You need to plan every single move out in advance before you do anything. Because if you don't plan it out, you can soft lock yourself in like late game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really easy to soft lock.
Oh, yeah. Like, you mean soft block as in you will never be able to win, right?
Yeah. Like, there's ways to... Like, it's easy to do that in Blazing Sword, in Fire Emblem 7.
I think it's Blazing Blade.
Either way. The one with Elwood, Hector, and Lynn, it's really easy to soft lock the game if you don't train those 3 characters by the end game. Because, like, they're sitting ducks in that final map, which, if you don't train them. Because you're literally surrounded by, like, 20 different boss level enemies that can deck you. On top of the fact that you still have the giant fire dragon at the end that can like basically kill you in one hit. So
yeah, that's the thing is, I gotta say it. Sometimes they make the lords too bad.
Roy in Binding Blade is not good. He is not good.
So is
Like,
Roy...
at least they made it match with Melee, like, the amount of good he is, but...
Is Roy good in any game?
Yeah, in Ultimate, he's so... I love him in Ultimate. He's my main, so...
Like, considering that Chrom and Roy are, like... They're essentially the same character with minor differences. That's what matters. But, yeah, like, the fact that Chrom is, like, S tier, Roy is gonna be in a similar state, because he's got the same speed, he's got the same moves, he's got, like, maybe...
I just prefer his up B.
Yeah, like, he may have, like, little tweaks here and there, but he's the same character.
Yeah.
So he's still gonna be in, like, a high tier. So...
True.
Yeah.
And I didn't even, like, look into it, like, oh, is Roy high tier or not? Like, I was just like, alright, I played Roy in Melee, I'm gonna play Roy in Project M, I'm gonna play Roy in Ultimate. And
I know,
just so happened
that was me with Chrom.
Yeah, I know Chrom is top tier, and, like, Roy is, like, slightly below him. Probably, like, a tier lower. I think. I'm not really sure.
The thing is, I just can't recover with Chrom. It's straight up and down, and it just fucks with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ike's recovery, and it's, like, really bad.
Here's the thing. Ike has two different ways that he can recover.
Mm-hmm.
And Chrom has
that over. Because
it's like they didn't really think about his lateral recovery as much.
Yeah, because, like, there's a way that it's his horizontal recovery, like Ike's specifically, is leagues better than his vertical recovery. And Chrom doesn't have that same option, so it kind of hurts him in that regard, but he's just so quick that it doesn't even matter. Mm-hmm. You just have to not get hit. So...
I love my dumb bitch Chrom.
But, I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah, so, so there's Fire Emblem Path of Radiance that came out after Sacred Stones. That was the GameCube one. And then Radiant Dawn was the one on the Wii, which was a sequel to the Path of Radiance one. It took place 3 years after the events of Path of Radiance. That one is also really expensive. Like, I believe it's in the hundreds.
Yeah, let me check Radiant Dawn.
If not the hundreds, I think it's in, like, 90s. So...
I know it's not as much as Path of Radiance.
Yeah, Path of Radiance is the really expensive.
Yeah, Radiant Dawn's like $100.
And then after Radiant Dawn, there was the Shadow Dragon remake, which I fucking hated. Okay.
Oh, really? I thought it was bad?
No, okay. Alright, here's the thing. That's debatable. I don't like it. Here's... Okay. This is, like, highly debatable because it scored well. It's, like, an 80% on, like, most critics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a good game. But the problem with it... Okay. What's one of your favorite things about the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems?
The best thing about the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem?
Yes.
That it's fast.
Anything else?
All of the interfaces work really well and are really easy to, like, understand what everything does, and it's not, like, clunky.
Okay, that works too. What I was trying to get you to say, which visually, I think the Game Boy Advance games are visually the best out of pretty much any.
Honestly, I agree. I think it really has, like, that. I think it really. I like how they have, like, the big character portrait, and it's like an anime person, and then it gets small, and their eyes are really tiny.
That's what Aidan was telling me. Aidan was like, "Oh, I love the chibi portraits in the corner."
Carter has a demake of Fire Emblem Echoes, which I swear to God is just Gaiden. But anyways, this one character, Gray, his chibi portrait is doing the uwu face, and I love it.
Oh,
dude, that's great. Wait, a demake?
Oh yeah, so Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia that came out for the 3DS? Yeah, it was basically a remake of Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was the second Fire Emblem game in the series.
Oh, and then they're reverting it back.
So someone made a fan-made demake where they took echoes and they put it into the interface and visuals of a Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem game.
Bruh.
Yeah,
I have a hacked 3DS. Can I get that? I have like a hacked 3DS. Can I get that?
Well, it's actually a mod for Fire. It's like a ROM hack for Fire Emblem Sacred Stones.
Oh, they like remade it in like as a Game Boy Advance ROM.
They used like Sacred Stones as assets in a sense, and then modded those assets like and put it basically over top of that. Basically, how one of the other Let's Plays I'm doing right now is of this game. It's this mod called The Last Promise, which is basically a mod that's made over top of Fire Emblem 7 of Fire Emblem Blazing Sword.
But it's a whole new story.
Yeah. Like this, for the Sacred Echoes, it's the same kind of thing, where it's basically the entire story of... I don't know if it's the entire story, because I haven't played it that... I want to wait until we like do a Let's Play of it, but it basically looks like a one-for-one remake of the 3DS game as a Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem game.
That's so cool, and I can actually also run Game Boy Advance games on my 3DS anyway. So
if you can get ROMs for this, you could probably get this.
Yeah, like I can run pretty much anything on my 3DS. Well, not anything. I can't run like PS2 games or something, but I think I can run PlayStation 1 games on there. I think it's probably shitty, but
it depends. Yeah, I guess it depends on what system you're using for it. So the 3DS?
I have the 2011 3DS, not like the new 3DS.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it probably really can't, but conceptually, yes.
I don't think it can. That's debatable because that early model did not support 3D models as well as like the one that came out in 2015 or 2014.
Yeah, the CPU speed is less, so I can't do as much. There's you can emulate SNES games like natively on the new 3DS, and you can't do it on the old 3DS. You have to get an emulator on the old 3DS to
really
do SNES. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but the boost in processing power on the new 3DS is substantial enough that certain things will run on it and not on the old 3DS.
I guess they kind of had to have that intense boost of the processing power in order to be able to run the 3D models.
And also in order for people to care enough, because techie people will look at it and be like, I'm not going to buy this, it's the same thing, but they have to beef it up.
Yeah. I don't know. It's strange. Mm-hmm. Oh god, what was I talking about? Shit, I was talking about something for a second.
The timeline of Fire Emblem games.
Oh yeah, sorry. Shadow Dragon, the remake. So, yeah. So the one that came out in I believe 2010 for the DS, it was a remake of the original Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon that had Marth in it. And the reason I don't like it comes down to that whole thing about the visual style. When it comes to 2D, the 2D Game Boy Advance visuals for Fire Emblem were just so charming and cute, but also really cool, especially with some of the advanced classes when they do their criticals. It just looks so awesome. It's you can tell they put a lot of effort in it. But with the Shadow Dragon remake, the visuals, they kind of emulate the original graphics in a way and try to go for a more realistic style, which in my opinion it just makes it look really ugly. I'll put a picture in the Discord just to show you what I'm talking. If you guys want.
I'm reading Reddit threads about bad parents.
Why?
Because it came up.
Oh my gosh. So actually, I got an image here, so this will kind of prove my points. I just have to save it as something. And like another thing that I don't like about Shadow Dragon is that again it comes back down to that art style, because you kind of look back at the Game Boy Advance color scheme, and it's so bright and popping, and then you look at the screen I just shared, everything's so muddy, and
They tried to make it 3D when it really
Oh,
3D.
God, no.
yeah, it's so gray and brown and
That's
murky.
fucking grimy, dude.
Yeah, and I was just like, this doesn't work. It's so bizarre. And like you see the little icons on the bottom screen. Like,
Is that
the
what
little
it looks
character
like in
models?
game?
Well, like the character models, I can bring up a separate picture for what those look like. Those also they kind of look like RuneScape models. I'm not even kidding. I'll show you in a second, because there's a. Oh my god, it's.
I mean, I like RuneScape though, so.
Well,
But I
Yeah.
understand that, like, it's not really. Let me see
this.
it. Okay,
So
that's worse than RuneScape.
yeah, like it looks really bad, because like the thing is, RuneScape is one thing, but I don't want my characters to look like RuneScape models in my Fire Emblem.
Yeah, RuneScape is like its own style.
Yeah,
RuneScape looks like that for the entirety of, like, the entire game looks like that.
yeah,
And then you get into Fire Emblem, and then you see, like, these anime people, and then you see that in the battle, and you're like, is this real? Is this really what they put in the game?
yeah, and it's just like I saw that art style, and I saw the direction they were going with, and I was just like, I don't even want to play this. And I played like the prologue mission, and I felt disgusting after I did it.
Speaking of games you don't want to play, do you want to tell Aidan about the game you recorded for the podcast?
Oh my god. Okay. So, okay, Aidan, how much do you know about Super Mario 64 ROM hacks?
ROM hacks?
Yeah, for Super Mario 64.
Oh, I, like, watch Simple Flips, so I've seen a bunch of them.
Okay, so if you watch Simple Flips, then you know what I'm going to show you.
Is it, like, 1-2 oatmeal or something?
No, it's not that. Let me,
Is it
okay,
Mario pissing?
No.
So just as a heads up, with Carter sharing all of these images, I like made him a promise that I wouldn't share images in the chat, so that he wouldn't have to do any additional editing.
See, I'm not going to show these pictures. I'm just, like, kind of...
Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay, you know the game Desert Bus?
Yes.
Desert Mario.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That one.
He played that for an hour.
Oh my god.
I literally almost fell asleep halfway through. Like, my eyes were starting to go, but I had, like, music on in the background so I could actually focus.
So you're telling me you didn't want to finish it?
It's fucking 6 hours!
Well, you know what else is 6 hours? Having to watch all 3 original trilogy Star Wars movies.
That's true.
So what you're telling me is I should just play this again, but put on the Star Wars movies in the background and just watch them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will say, which is it's the footage that people are probably seeing right now, that I had to go through. Running down a road and you're having to jump every single time so that you're not overheating yourself, you kind of learn how to do certain Mario tricks really well. Like, it kind of really helps with your timing on certain Mario, like, speedrunning tech.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I was kind of surprised. I was able to get, like, certain, like, moves off, like, pretty well.
Love how you're
pretty
practicing
consistently.
your Mario tech while you're playing that.
But, like, it was so, like, I know it's meant to be a joke game, but, like, my god. I remember, like, halfway through the run, there was, like, this barn that had popped up on the side of the road. And if people are watching the podcast, they'll probably see me have this moment, because it happened during the recording. But there's this barn that pops up towards the end of the recording, and I literally was just like, what the fuck? And I like changed the camera angle to focus on the barn because I thought I could go into it. And literally I sit there for a good like 10-20 seconds like trying to figure out this fucking barn because I didn't want to keep going on the goddamn mindless run across this desert. Oh my god.
Did you get in the barn?
No, because like with the road that they put you on, there's a barrier on either side. So if you try to jump over it, you hit a wall.
Oh no, like a bonk wall?
Yeah.
Oh no,
and
dude.
The whole gimmick of this, like if you saw the Simple Flips, did you see Simple Flips do this?
I mean, I've seen a bunch of Simple Flips videos. I remember that existed, but I don't remember the specifics of the video.
I think the video that he did with that had him and but I think that's the video that was there. But like the whole gimmick is that you're supposed to keep jumping because if you stay on the ground, there's like this heat meter in the top left corner, and it's rising like pretty much by like 5, maybe like by like 10 numbers a second. And if that hits 100, you take damage. And as soon as you like lose all of your health, the game black screens, and then you have to start over from the beginning.
Damn, dude.
So, like, literally, you have to keep jumping. That's the only way you can survive.
Damn. So, it was you jump and then like the exhaust or something like that meter comes down.
Yeah, in the Super Mario in the ROM hack version, it's essentially it just has like heat in the top left, and it has just a rising number. And every time you jump, the number goes back to 0.
Oh, all right. I thought it would just take like a little bit off, and you'd have to keep jumping.
No.
All right, that's better. That's better than what I was thinking.
Yeah, but like it barely gives you any time to even like put the controller down and take a drink of water or something.
Damn, dude.
Like I tried doing that like halfway through the through the recording, and I was just like my character just ran to a wall, and I was like, okay, I can't stop.
Yeah, it's just like I think the original Desert Bus is even easier than that because you don't actually have to do anything really in the original Desert Bus. I think you maybe hold A or something.
Oh, I remember. So with the original Desert Bus, the whole it's actually kind of messed up because I think they literally thought of everything.
It was Penn and Teller who did it, so of course they thought of everything.
It was part of their collection. Like they had a video game that had like 4 different games in one, and that was one of the games.
Yeah.
And the only reason I remember this is because AVGN did an episode on this.
Yeah, that's how I know it too.
Which he gets to that game.
What's terrible is I know because I'm a genuine Magic fan.
But he got to that. He got to that part, and he was just like, "Well, all you have to do is just press the A button." And like he just like puts he put like a wrench on the controller to hold the A button down. He just let the game play itself. He puts the controller down, walks away, and the way that the game is designed, the bus is on an angle, so every single time like you're just holding the A button and you're not moving the controller, the bus is slowly jittering more and more to the left every single time. And if it jets off the road, you like stall out on the road and you have to get towed back to the beginning of the level. So every single time you have to hold the A button and like gently jet to the right to keep yourself on the road.
So like the bus has a bad alignment.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So you literally have to stay there and so
that's diabolical.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
That's funny that you said you knew it because you were a genuine Magic fan. Do you watch Chris Angel and shit?
Okay, I used to be really into Chris Angel when I was like 14, but like I'm not a Chris Angel fan anymore. I used to do a lot of like magic tricks myself. And And then I got more into, like, freak show stuff. Like, I can perform human blockhead.
You could perform what blind?
Human blockhead.
Human blockhead.
Yeah, it's when you nail... It's when you get a hammer and a nail, and you nail the nail in...
And you what?
You hammer the nail into your nose, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I taught myself how to do human blockhead when I was, like, 18. So I wanted to, like, join a freak show.
Yeah, just become a carny.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if we're talking about magic, then
do not.
Then we got to talk about The Gathering.
Not where I was going with that.
Reference right now.
We got to talk about the merch freak. So
okay, so this person that we were in love with AEW,
which we've talked about many.
So like
their
shows are just wrestling and maybe one or two promos. It's like the complete opposite of WWE, and all of their kayfabe stuff is all online. It's mostly on like this one thing called Being the Elite, and this one guy, his kayfabe thing is he has magic powers related to merchandise.
Merchandising.
He's basically a play on Chris Angel, and they call him the merch freak.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name is Nick Jackson, and he's part of a tag team with his brother Matt. And he'll
Nick Jackson.
He'll like go up to his brother and he'll be like, "Where's the shirt, Matt?" Matt will be like, "I'm not wearing a fucking shirt," and then Nick will snap his fingers and the shirt will be on Matt.
That's amazing.
Oh god.
Oh god.
But who are like the best known magicians?
Penn and Teller.
Okay, besides Penn and Teller,
okay,
Chris Angel.
You know what's my favorite? Penn and Teller. So Penn Jillette was a juggler. He like performed in carnivals and shit. Teller was a high school history teacher.
That totally, absolutely makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because history teachers, just like art teachers, have like a totally separate like je ne sais quoi about them. You know what I mean? Like they just decorate their classrooms and shit in a whole different way. And like if you're gonna have a crazy teacher who's also cool, it's a history teacher usually or an art teacher.
Mine was actually my 10th grade religion teacher who would get really high before class, and then we just watch Shrek.
That sounds like the best theology class ever.
She got fired.
I really wish she didn't, because she was doing God's work.
She really was.
Honestly, I probably would have learned more by watching Shrek. Like, I would have been in the entire class.
Like, because I went to a Catholic school, so I went into 11th grade religion not knowing jack shit, because I watched Shrek for an entire semester.
That's amazing. So they got to the part where it's like, oh yeah, and Joseph in his coat or whatever the fuck. And then you're like, what?
Okay. I have to say, I have so many hang-ups about religion at my school. Like the religion classes specifically. Okay. So for the religion classes, later religion classes like grade 11 or 12, I think even as early as grade 10, you could choose either... It
was grade 11 and 12.
Okay, yeah, 11 and 12. You could choose religion or you could choose philosophy.
That was only grade 12.
Okay, yeah.
Grade 11, it was Catholic religion or world religions. I chose world religions because I went to Catholic religions and I was like, I don't fucking know the names of the 12 apostles.
Yeah, so that same thing. So, like, grade 11, you learned about world religions at my school. I don't even think there was a choice.
We had a choice at my school.
Yeah. But I was so excited by the concept because it was I had it in the second term semester. Like, instead of the September to December, I had it in the January to April. Mm-hmm. And there was one of my friends who had this same world religions class in the first block from like September to December. Towards the end of the semester, he was like, "Oh my fucking god, dude, it was crazy. We learned about fucking cults, and we like watched this thing called like the Jesus Camp. Dude, it was fucking crazy. You're gonna love it." And I was just like, "Okay, all right, that sounds cool." I'm big up myself on being able to watch this because it was the same teacher that he had that I was going to be having this semester. Learned fucking nothing about cults. Did not see Jesus Camp. I was so pissed. I was like,
what?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that sounded so cool.
You know, my 11th... So, like, first I took 11th grade, like, regular religion because, like, with my school being an art school and my musical theater program not lasting more than a semester,
Yeah.
I got kicked into vocals for whatever reason, which is my weakest thing. And so a lot of like the people in vocals like would take the regular religion classes. Like it would overlap with Latin hymns, which like I grew up singing a lot of Latin hymns. And so I quit it because I'm like, I don't fucking know this shit. And took world religions instead. All we learned was there's also Muslim people, but here's more information on Jesus.
Yeah, that's how I totally imagine those types of classes. It's ostensibly like a religion class, but it's really like Christianity class.
Yeah, oh my god. Philosophy was hilarious when I took philosophy in the 12th grade, because I was like, fuck these religion classes, I'm taking philosophy. My philosophy class consisted of pretty much my entire friend group at the time, and these two guys that I was really, really close to at the time, their names were Colin and Bober. I'll tell you more about them another time, like probably when we're done recording, but we would show up to class, like, it was an hour-long class. We'd show up half an hour late with Timbits, because the guy my mom was dating at the time would give me Timbits. I had my first period off, and it was a second period class. I'd give my Timbits to my teacher. He'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever, here's what you missed. And, like, he wouldn't do this with anyone else. It was just myself, Bober, and Colin, because we would be, like, smoking weed before class. We didn't do any work. We didn't have an exam. We instead had, like, just one giant activity at the end that was worth, like, 80% of our grade. And the three of us were like, what if we, like, bribe him with cake? And we bribed him with cake, and it worked.
Oh my god.
We handmade this guy a fucking chocolate cake, the three of us. And he just accepted the bribe, and it was fantastic.
That's incredible. I mean, if I ever become a teacher, I want to be that guy.
Just accept bribes.
Yeah.
You mentioned something called Timbits? What is that?
Oh yeah, you don't know Timbits! Okay, so, like, this big-ass fucking chain. You know Tim Hortons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have, like, they sell donut holes there, but they call them Timbits.
Okay.
Yeah, and, like, the Timbits are really the only good thing about Tim Hortons. Their donuts are, like...
You could have said Tim Hortons brand munchkins.
No, we're Canadians. We have Timbits in here, eh?
Alright, fine. But listen, America runs on Dunkin', and Canada is part of North America, so... technically.
Ew. Yeah, what you talking about?
I'm talking about a shoe, not a boot, bro.
God damn it.
I wish we had Dunkin' up here.
Dude, it's like pretty good. It's not... I would say that Dunkin' Donuts really, like, kills it on the donuts, and then the coffee is pretty good, and then the rest of it is, like, eh. I mean, other than the hash browns. I've heard the hash browns get really good reviews, but I've never had them.
Ooh, I'm a big hash brown fan. I've only ever had Dunkin' when I went to Detroit the one time, but we have Krispy Kreme up here. We have exactly 2 locations in Toronto.
That's good. I'm glad you have Krispy Kreme. I've been to Toronto. I've mentioned this, right?
Yeah, you have. You have, like, cousins here, right?
Yeah, my cousin, married someone from. Well, they both went to school in Canada, and then they got married, and now they live in Canada now.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Might I
Yeah, we were
ask what
supposed to
school
see
your
him like a
cousin
little.
went to?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. What school did
Go
your
ahead.
cousin go
I
to?
already gave you this information.
It's okay. What school did he go to?
Me?
No, your cousin.
Oh, I think they literally went to like University of Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, shit, U of T.
Yes, U of T, the University of Toronto.
Thank
Where
you.
did they go to school in Toronto? Why? It was the University of Toronto.
We have so many fucking universities.
Wait,
I mean,
which
so do
university?
we. Philadelphia has like a bunch.
Like, just in Toronto, we have the University of Toronto, which has 3 separate campuses. We have Ryerson University. We have,
Brock.
No, Brock is in Niagara Falls.
Oh, okay.
And we have OCAD, which is the Ontario College of Arts and Design.
I've heard a lot of shit about that one.
Oh my god, OCAD is a private school. It's a private university. Yeah. So tuition's like even more expensive.
Do you guys get any like? So you know how college is a huge thing in like America, where people are like, "Oh, it's so expensive. Like, I wish it could be less expensive." With like Bernie Sanders and such.
Okay.
Is it bad in Canada?
So here's what I'm going to tell you. So in Canada, college for us refers to community college, and then we specifically call universities universities. So
Okay.
if you go to a university, it costs roughly the same as in the States. If you go to a college, if you go to a community college, most community colleges in Canada offer bachelor's degrees. My bachelor degree, my 4-year bachelor degree, overall cost me $4,000.
Wait, really?
That was all 4 years for my bachelor's degree cost me 4,000 Canadian.
That's okay,
I have no student debt.
bruh. There are people killing themselves over student debt here.
Yeah, same here. So like, there's a big what's the word I'm looking for? People here have this like misconception that if you go to community college, you're dumb. You're either dumb or you're going like for something that's only offered at college, not realizing like you can get a bachelor's at a community college. And like all my profs like also taught at university as well, like while they were teaching at my school. So it's like I'm still getting the same level of education. I'm just paying like 1/8 of the cost.
I think
Right. That's my logic with my school. It's just that I basically have paid that for 2 semesters. So it even at the community college level, it's a little expensive. Well, I mean, you know, compared to like several $100,000 or whatever that some people are paying or whatever. But
You're not going to be in debt for life.
I don't think that the information that I'm learning is really that different. Because what kind of like weird secret or something do you think they're telling the people who are paying more money? Like, there's no new information that is not being like disseminated to them, right?
Like, I think the only difference is that you would really only go to a college hands-on job, but you would go to a university for.
That's not how it is anymore.
That's how it was. So I think that's what people are still trying to like fool themselves into believing that a university is like people who are trying to be like. I don't like some sort of like intellectual position.
Yeah.
Which
is really stupid considering like when I did my bachelor's, I did a minor as well. Like you can still do a minor in a community college.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, I have a minor in accounting and I have a learning disability that fucks with math.
I don't know if I have a learning disability that fucks with math, but I am bad at math, if that counts.
Oh, yeah, we all are.
I have dyscalculia, so like I see numbers as letters, so like doing calculus, for example, is a nightmare for me.
Oh yeah, all the variables and shit.
Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. I have dyscalculia and I have ADD, which I call my diet autism.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would describe ADD as that too.
Yeah.
And I also, I think I have ADHD, but they're almost the same thing.
Honestly, the difference between ADD and ADHD is how much inconvenience you are for the tester.
Yeah, and how much Adderall they prescribe you.
Yeah. My mom was like, so I had an ADD diagnosis, and my mom was like, no, I'm not giving my kid diet meth. And then I went to go get re-diagnosed for the school, and they were like, oh, no, you don't actually have ADD. But then when I was 18, I went to get re-diagnosed, and they were like, no, you have ADD.
So they like beat you around the bush for like half your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like when I got tested, like when my mom got me tested, it was a private testing, and I guess the school just didn't want to invest money in me.
Damn, that's a fucked like thought.
Yeah, it was great though, because like when I was 18, I had to repeat like my last year of high school, so I was in high school as an adult, and I forced them to test me, and they were like, "Yeah, so you have dyscalculia and ADD." So I'm like, "Okay," so I finally get the fucking help I need, and my last year like all like high 90s, fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is great because like my entire school year, like unless it was like something needed or something hands-on, I'd be getting 50s, which is barely a pass here.
Bruh.
Yeah, fuck the school system.
Dude, like, fuck the system. What are we talking about just the school system? What about the entire system?
Hey, did you know you only need 3.8% of a population to cause a revolution?
You only need 3/8 of a population?
No, 3.8%.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is like...
Listen, I think it's a little different in America, because you guys don't spend like 90% of your budget on the military.
We spend most of our budget on the RP, which might as well be the military, because our government wants to kill all the indigenous people. Our government likes to kill indigenous people and then frame it on other people. It's great. Or they just like don't talk about it.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
It's just, I think like there's like this whole notion that the Bernie Sanders movement is like a revolution. And
it's not a revolution.
Not yet. I mean, like, there's been riots and whatever, but you know, they're not really riots. I think that the fact that we just let fucking this whole we just let Biden like have it really is, I think that's an issue. I don't think that like we should bow down to the establishment every time, because they have been letting us down. You know what I mean?
So here's a fun fact for you. So in 4 years, when next election, AOC is going to be old enough to run for president.
That's interesting.
It's really interesting. Did you see?
I would like to see what happens with that. I don't know. She's like 30 right now, or something like that.
Something like that. I don't know.
Wait. How old are you?
Huh?
I don't remember. I know Kanye's old enough to run for president, though.
You have to be 35, and you have to have been a natural-born citizen, and been I think there's some other requirement or something like that. Like, you have to. I think you may have to have held. No, I don't think you do.
No, you don't have to have held office.
You don't. Yeah, that's right. Because Donald Trump. But there's some kind of extra requirement that I can't think of right now, but I know the threshold is 35, and you have to be a citizen of the United States.
Okay, like citizen of the United States thing, But why 35?
I don't know. Canada, you just have to be like part of a political party.
Yeah, that might be. No, actually, you can run as an independent, so you don't have to.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of political parties though. We have a communist party.
Do they have like any seats in Parliament? Would it be ?
I don't think they have any in federal, but like they might have some seats in a provincial government. I'm not entirely sure. I only follow Ontario's politics where we are.
Well, I mean, this is all going to change when Neo Canada comes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my god, Carter and I have plans for Neo Canada. Mostly involving wrestling.
I need to definitely like look up some Canadian geography and just familiarize myself with it so that I can actually function in this whole whole carving up of Canada that's about to happen.
We'll give you some basics, okay? British Columbia is the hipsters.
Alberta is Texas.
Saskatchewan is
a parking lot.
Manitoba is...
They wish they were cowboys.
South Ontario is
where we're from.
Northern Ontario
is racist as fuck.
Quebec hates everyone.
with reason.
And then the prairies kind of just keep...
that's... The prairies is...
Sorry, I'm trying to think
the Maritimes.
Thank you. The Maritimes kind of keeps to themselves.
The Maritimes is like Maine times 10.
Wait.
We have one.
It's like what times 10?
Maine times 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
We have one province called Prince Edward Island. It's the smallest province. And all that they're notable for is that their dirt is red and they grow potatoes.
Their dirt is red and they eat potatoes?
They grow potatoes.
Oh, they don't eat them though.
I don't know.
I mean, I assume they'd eat. They make...
No, they grow potatoes for that one... They grow potatoes for that one SCP that, like, is an entire potato dimension.
Oh my god.
Wait, what?
We should rank SCP.
Okay.
Yo, yeah, dude, we gotta, like, read through some, like, the original series SCPs and rank them.
This sounds like a great idea for a future video, but for now, we are running our time limit. So,
okay.
Alright. Aidan, you just came out with some new music, correct? Which band is this under?
Alright, so I came out with an Artesma single a couple weeks ago. I just came out with... It's kind of a rough draft of a new song. I just kind of... The spirit hit me and I wanted to like get it down on paper or in a recording. It's under the Caiatus band page. So
this is the one that we were listening to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Alright, so...
and coming down the pipeline, I'm not going to release that song yet. I'm going to release a... I think it's going to be basically... I'm going to release a very small EP with 3 instrumental songs on it that are from 3 upcoming things I'm working on. So that's going to be released under Caiatus, though.
Okay,
so I guess link that one.
So the major ones are Artesma and Caiatus for this one?
Yeah, currently.
Do you want me to keep the Biolante one in there?
Yeah, that's just going to be on hold until coronavirus is over, because I need to actually get my friend to come visit so he can record his parts.
Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to put your Artesma and Caiatus, so we can kind of zero in on those two.
Alright.
So, anything you want to add, Ethan?
We have a Facebook page and an Instagram. You can check us out at Chaotic Stupid YT at both of them.
Why the fuck?
I was waiting for that.
I was right in my ear.
I was right in the microphone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hear that when I'm editing tomorrow.
Okay, but you'll know when it's coming because I'll start talking about our Facebook and Instagram pages, which is mostly just memes.
Oh my god. Yeah, so, about that stuff. So, I don't think I've put the Facebook... Put our Instagrams on, like, this page, but you can also find a lot more information of stuff that I've been kind of putting more information on the channel, like what current Let's Plays and like the video schedule that we're kind of going by. And I've kind of put our Instagrams, and I've put Aidan's band links on the YouTube page, like in general. So yeah, check out any of those links, and check out both Facebook and the Instagram page, and that's going to be about it for today. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.